Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, and very warm greetings, very heartfelt greetings from Zaragoza, from Spain, to all our friends in Nicaragua, Panama, Dominican Republic, and Costa Rica. Thank you very much, David. That the way to change the world when dealing with water matters is something which comes through from our hearts, from social spheres. That it's important to talk about technology today, but perhaps even more important to talk about social development. Today, communication, education, and cultural development are the three pillars to construct a new water paradigm and sustainable development. These changes need to be brought about. We need to create these changes, and we need to do this. And this will enable us to contribute to making this world a better place to live in. Perhaps we could begin with Nicaragua. Well, we're saying that one of the main ideas we have in this country, which has not promoted values of care for water, is the idea of abundance of water in this country. As our country says, Nicaragua. The idea of water is in the name of our country. Here is water is free, and so everyone is entitled to access and may be misused or wasted, whichever way you like. It's a new idea, this idea of water as a problem, not the lack of water so much, but as a contamination of water sources.
Knowledge also has a role. If you don't deal with the knowledge issue, then we have a very serious problem, because that means we are dealing with water which is not really a very well-known factor to everyone. We keep talking about being rational, and that means planning, and that's not something that any 4 people can do or any computer can do. We need all the stakeholders involved.
In Costa Rica
we have a very clear problem with tourism. There are communities in this country that have no water for 20 hours a day and who make a very responsible use of water, when we have hotels in some very touristy areas that have green golf courses all year round, when we live in the dry tropics. I think that means that we should all consider ourselves to be citizens of the world, those of us who are members of NGOs, but also those who are members of political parties and government.
But I would insist that we need a dual approach. We are between drinking water, which is the crisis, which is taking us to the verge of disaster, and non-drinking water and popular. Some people use one well for drinking water and uses rainwater, for all other uses at the home, and this is popular wisdom here in Costa Rica. So we need to make a the difference between drinking water and non-drinking water. So this is dual use of water is important. And finally, here in Costa Rica, we've carried out an experiment to provoke a water crisis. I.e., one day we tell the kids that there's no water in their communities, and with the help, it's unbelievable how much information and suggestions and awareness this generates amongst young people and kids and their families when you provoke. So education, so perhaps the fact that children live through this crisis. So, for example, cutting off water deliberately, as happens with natural disasters such as earthquakes, cutting off people's water for one day, for example, or for a couple of hours a day, makes people much more aware of the values of water. Panama.
Adelante, por favor.
You have the floor. Well, a personal initiative, I believe we should set up a chair of water in institutions all over the world, and that students should set up a world network where they should have peers in different countries so that the issue should become a global issue, and so people know what's going on the other side of the world. This issue of values, where we could perhaps find the solution to the issue of water, we should include a series of things which are failing in Nicaraguan society. We believe that the government needs to make a substantial investment in raising public awareness.
And we usually end up talking about accountability and transparency, responsibility, integrity, and there are a lot of initiatives that are now based on values such as fairness and knowledge and connectiveness and respect and responsibility in order to mitigate corruption and to improve services in the water sector. For example, in Argentina, there was corruption in the water sector, and the government officials signed an integrity pact that they would be honest and wouldn't take bribes, and that actually helped in the long run. And also, in addition, they had public hearings with the people to hear what the needs are and what types of problems and types of corruption that are being conducted in the water sector.
One way of doing it is by provoking crises. It's at a moment of crises when societies and people change very, very quickly. Change our values very quickly. Someone who has just been ditched by their girl or boyfriend is a completely different person 3 months later. They changed completely because of a love crisis. Well, because of a health crisis, people have heart attacks, and after 2 months they've stopped smoking, they are eating well, they've changed their jobs, they look at life in a different way, they have undergone a sea change in their life. This is what we need, this kind of change or crisis.
We've had 4 sessions of the GDLN, and I think we've a huge flow of great results. 20 countries have participated in the 4 sessions. We've focused on 2 main issues, values, and we have certain difficulties about interpreting values, but some values have come out of the closet, as Victor Vinuales has said, and this is all part of the context. We are establishing the basis for water education, and that produces results. And for me personally, there are still some questions for the Water Tribune. We have to make a much bigger effort to go from saying, what do we need to do, to how do we do it? In The Hague in 2000, we said we had to make people aware, and we've heard it again today. Well, it's not so much saying we need awareness, it's how are we going to make people really aware? How will people take ownership? After these 4 sessions of the GDLN, I think, can we say the best is yet to come? And that we need to persevere in our pursuit of new inroads. We have to focus on what we still need to do, and I think we have to bring about the changes quickly.